And with that, that ends week 12 of the NFL, man. We are getting into it. We're getting into the thick of it, man. A lot of things are forming out the way we thought it would. A lot of things, they're not going as we thought at the beginning of the year, especially looking back at the preseason, preview. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself because, in today's episode, the preseason guy who made the thumbnail once again makes it again. He graces our thumbnail. SHEDEUR Sanders had his starting debut, but that is into the future. This week of football was a great week in my opinion, but I have my co-host here as always. So Seji, how'd you feel about this week of football?
Man, pretty good week of football. Unless you're a Cam Ward fan and you're Cam Ward, if I were you, I would press charges against the Titans offensive line. But other than that, man, a pretty nice week of football.
And it started off in the heart of Texas, Houston, Texas. All right, down in Houston where it really did go down, especially Josh Allen, because he was sacked 8 times. 8 times Josh Allen was slung to the ground, man. The Buffalo Bills, I hate to say it, I hate to be Mr. Pessimist, but I think the championship door just is slam closed. This game confirms it 100%, man. The Bills have a lot of questions on the roster that there's no way to answer right now at this point in time. Josh Allen, he's not saving y'all anymore. Josh Allen in the past would bail you out for a game like this. He couldn't do it this game. He's lost a little bit of the magic. I don't know what he's supposed to do, but the Bills as a whole, man, I'm not gonna lie, they're a goddamn mess. The Texans, however, they are a sleeper competitor. I'm not saying that they're going to the Super Bowl, but at the beginning of the year, I did predict that the Texans could go to the Super Bowl, and I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling kind of vindicated right now because, hey, man, D'Amico Ryan, he is quite the coach. He is out coaching a lot of the coaches that he's playing, especially of teams that are supposedly competitive in the AFC. So right now, I'd say we just have to wait till playoff time comes, and that's when the true contenders would show their face. But the Texans are a sleeper pick.
Man, well, speaking of things that must come up and must come down, Seahawks versus Titans. And honestly, there is literally nothing different than what we expect this game to go. I don't think anybody was sitting here like, I'm gonna take the upset for the Tennessee Titans over the Seahawks. That shit wasn't happening. JSN is probably gonna catch for 2,000 yards this season. I think I can confidently say that. This man's averaging like 100 yards per game by like the third quarter. This nigga's balling. Like this man's doing his damn thing. I can't say the same for Cam Ward because he's getting balls up all in his fucking grill every damn game. Jordan. You're gonna understand why I'm saying this.
We got him.
No. Jordan,
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna understand why when you read the stat I'm about to hear. This man has been sacked 41 times this season alone. It is week 13. When I heard this on national television, I had to sit there for a second and ponder. How do you let your quarterback get sacked 41 times? I thought I was tripping. I thought they were lying. But then I looked at the stats for this game. This man got sacked 5 times. If he's averaging 5 sacks per game, let's realistically do the math here. This brother's out here fighting for his life. I don't think I've ever in my life pitied a quarterback so much. But getting sacked 41 times, bro, that got to do something to your mental, man. But yeah, man, Seahawks get the win over the Titans, bro. And Tennessee's championship, hopes are still very much frozen solid.
I don't think they had any hopes. That's being very optimistic that they had any. But moving on to two teams who have a lot of playoff hopes, even Super Bowl hopes, man. The Colts and the Chiefs down in Arrowhead, man. There was a battle, a war. And unfortunately, Jonathan Taylor did not show up for the fight. He decided that he was going to stay on the plane this game. He didn't want to compete in Kansas City. So really, it was just Daniel Jones and, Patrick Mahomes dueling it out to see who was less ass today. I'm not gonna lie, man. Both quarterbacks, they played decent. They didn't do anything that said, wow, I'm put the team on my back. They kind of just managed the game. The Chiefs fought to the very end. They got their win. Congratulations, Kansas City. You're still, Kansas City isn't completely dead. We said that already. They're not completely dead. They're dead. They're just not, they're still fighting to be alive. But, one major takeaway from this game, if there's any, is that the Colts need to learn how to close the door behind them when they get a lead. All right, you can't be having this come playoff time where you get a lead and you don't know how to close the door. Because Kansas City, of all teams, they will do that in the playoffs. There's one team that'll do it. It's Kansas City.
Man, speaking of more mediocre quarterback play, Patriots versus Bengals. And I think Drake May and Joe Flacco came together, in terms of the holiday spirit and said, you know what? We're going to go out there and start throwing up donations. Just straight up, just start chucking up donations to the secondaries. Because these brothers, when I tell you, they said pick sixes for everybody. Drake May, the way he was looking, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo was on the field today. Straight up, just throw a dime to the defense. immediate touchdown. I was just stunned. Joe Flacco, you're 40-something, man. Hang it up. There's only so much you can do. The football is starting to leave you. I see it in real time, bro. But hey, man, Drake May and the Patriots decide, let's lock in for a little bit. They managed to grind out the win against the Bengals. Now, the Bengals might be cooked now because somehow they also managed to get T. Higgins injured. Joe Flacco also got injured, I'm pretty sure. And Adam Iolavis also got injured. So, on top of, Jamar Chase getting suspended, it's not looking good. Yes, Jordan.
I will say the Bengals announced this morning they are expecting Joe Burrow to be back on the field come week 13. So I believe it's Thanksgiving. They're expecting him to return to play the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, man.
And all I'm saying is, Cincinnati, why do you want Joe back? Why would you do that to him? Just let him sit out the rest of the year with that turf toe. It's a bad injury. So let him sit out the rest of the year. You don't have to rush him. Just take Jake Browning out there and do your best.
Yeah, man. Well, Bengals get smacked across the face by the New England Patriots. And pretty much GG's for the Bengals season at this point.
Well, I had the luxury today of watching, a quarterback duel between two legendary QBs. I got to watch Jordan Love and Nine. See, J.J. McCarthy said when he's out there on the field, he has an alter ego named Nine. Little did we know he was foreshadowing how many interceptions he threw. JJ is wasting JJ. Justin Jefferson's entire prime is going to be wasted on the Minnesota Vikings because they can't just get him a quarterback who's going to sling him the rock consistently. For some reason, J.J. McCarthy's allergic to throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson. He just doesn't like the guy. I guess they share the same name. He doesn't want him to outshine him. Whatever. The Green Bay offense is still sus, by the way. Don't let this win confuse you. The Green Bay are very suspect. Jordan Love, you're not getting away, buddy. Yeah, you are. I'm watching you, pal. I'm waiting for you to fold come playoff time. You see, because nobody's wrong when they say he could either be Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre on a given day. That's not a good thing. That's just not a good thing. Because come playoff time, man, we're going to need 4 Aaron Rodgers in a row, or 3. 3 Aaron Rodgers in a row. I just think that's impossible for Jordan Love. Somehow he just can't manage to do it. But hey, all I got to say is, man, J.J. McCarthy, don't look into the light. It's getting brighter. And who knew a handoff merchant in college wasn't going to be able to cut it in the NFL? Hey, apparently a guy who hands the ball off a lot isn't a good quarterback. But a guy who does nothing but throw the ball has to go in the 6th round.
Man.
Noticing.
Well, anyway, Steelers versus Bears. Man, shit. This game right here was a defensive heavyweight clash. And I'm not talking about the Steelers defense. I'm talking about the Bears defense going against the Bears offense. He was doing everything in their power to lose this football game, man. I don't think I've been so disappointed in watching 2 football teams play in my entire life. Jalen Ramsey and the Steelers defense, I'm calling the IRS and the FBI. I'm going to have them investigate y'all like they investigated Chauncey Billups because y'all got to be taking either the under or over on y'all's games because y'all are too inconsistent. This shit is getting out of hand. This shit is completely getting out of hand, man. Other than that, though, God bless Ben Johnson. I don't think I possibly would see the day where the Bears lead the NFC North and, they're looking like they could probably fight for the number 1 seed in the NFC. It truly is a glorious day to be in Chicago, man. I know they're probably living it up. But, man, Bears get the win over the Steelers. Mason Rudolph, my condolences. You have to put up with this sorry-ass defense. And, yeah, Mike Tomlin, get ready to pack your bags, man. Get your Roth IRA. It's time to hang it up, brother.
We are witnessing greatness right now. I hope you understand that when Jameis Winston retires, a part of all of us is going to die. You see, Jameis Winston is the Jekyll and Hyde of the NFL. You see, in the first 50 minutes, you get Jekyll, all right? You get the man who's slinging that rock, throwing deep passes, catching passes, stiff-arming defenders, spin moves, and then we get to the last 20 minutes, and you get Hyde. He's throwing that hole into double coverage, triple coverage, quadruple coverage. Every pass, it's going 40 yards or more, no less. All right, Jameis Winston, you are a gift to the world. Really, that's all I have to say about this game. What do you want me to do? Compliment Jahmyr Gibbs? Hey, he's great. It's the Giants defense. I hate to be that guy. The Giants defense isn't really that good. They're very bipolar. They're Jekyll and Hyde in their own way. The Lions defense, on the other hand, they just straight up suck. No, they're
runs. Oh my God.
Runs.
Yo, whoever was guarding J-Mo on that route, you're going to jail. You're going to fucking
jail. No, it was Barnes. I believe his name is Aaron Barnes. I believe.
You're going to jail.
51? Yeah, no.
You're going to jail.
That is the worst defensive rep you could possibly have.
Oh, shit.
Boy. To the ball, got a spin move, got a stiff arm off. Hell, he just with a hezzy in a football game. How does that even? Got hit with a hezzy. James Winston was snapping on your ass. But hey, man, at least the Lions got the win in the end. But come playoff time, we all know what's going to happen. The Lions are going to get embarrassed. The team's going to out-offense them, and next thing you know, they're down by 40, and they have to play catch-up, and it's not going to work out for Jared Goff.
Yeah. Actually, surprisingly, the Lions aren't in the playoffs right now. They're in the hunt.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
The Bears are good. Oh,
yeah, the Bears are good. Yeah, the Bears are good. The Bears are good, man. The Lions defenders just over here getting bitched by the most unathletic wide receiver I've seen in my life. Man, speaking of teams getting bitched, man, Ravens versus Jets. Man, the Ravens offense was getting absolutely pimp slapped by themselves. But I don't know what the fuck was going on with Lamar Jackson today, man. That man went out there and said, you know what? I can either play like Joe Flacco in 2014, or I can go out there and you look like Robert Griffin III in his last couple years playing football, just either prime time football or just terrible, because that offense, I don't care what the score says. If Derrick Henry isn't on this football team, they lose this game. That's how bad it is. The only touchdowns came from Derrick Henry.
Wow.
Tyrod Taylor had more touches than Lamar Jackson. All right. And Tyrod Taylor has not been good at football since he was in college. So let's just get it up this way.
Wow. No, that's crazy. No, that's a crazy statement. Hey, they're going to get charged for that one on TikTok.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. Anyway, all jokes aside, bro, this shit, I don't know what's going on with the Ravens, man. I don't know what's going on with the Jets anymore at this point, but they need a quarterback immediately. And they need one fast, bro. But hey, man, Ravens get the W of the Jets by the miracle of God and everything almighty. Yeah.
Speaking of miracles by God, Trevor Lawrence, what the fuck did you just do in Arizona? You see, I had the displeasure, instead of watching the SHEDEUR Sanders debut, I had to watch Trevor Lawrence because I am, of course, devoted to Duval. For some reason this year, I had to get the responsibility of Duval. Trevor Lawrence, 3 interceptions against the Cardinals defense? The Cardinals of all teams? Man, what else do you want me to say? The Jags defense tried everything, man. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at Jacoby Brissett. All right, and he was having a good game. He was fighting back, until the end. I will say one good thing about the Cardinals. If I had to say something good about the Cardinals, I don't, but I'm going to, just because, I feel like I've been mean to them all year. They have a good coach down there. They, despite the fact that they are ass and they have very little talent, they go out there and they try every week, man. You can't say that they don't go out there and they don't put in every ounce of effort they have every week. They just can't win. I'm gonna be so honest about Arizona. They just can't win. And I think that might be the worst situation. Not even when a team, it's not when a team, they're just ass. It's when a team just can't win. Like, they couldn't win to save their lives down there in Arizona. So, hey, man, great game from the Jags defense. Trevor Lawrence, get your shit together, man. I need to see Duval in the Super Bowl this year.
You are mentally deranged for even thinking that's going to happen, man. But, it's the beauty of football. Sadly, speaking of beauty, there was nothing beautiful about a certain quarterback in this game. Browns versus Raiders, man. Before we even get to my guy, SHEDEUR Sanders, Geno, it is time to let it go. The football has left you. The football has actually left this man. All right. 30 for 44, 14 incompletions. Truly spectacular numbers, man. 285 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 sacks. That man was on his knees 10 times today. That shit was Jordan, don't even look at me like that. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Pause that.
No.
You can't tell me no. You gotta pause that.
No. 10 times. There's no way, Geno, you could not have gotten out of one of those sacks. At least one of them. But I can't even blame you, because the people that are blocking for you are about as useful as a loyal man in Hooters. All right? He's gonna fold real quick. Anyway, man, on to SHEDEUR, my brother in Christ, man. SHEDEUR had a good game. Yeah, he had a really solid good game for him, bruh. I'm not even going to sit here and say he was doing anything crazy, but that man had a solid game. 11 for 20, 209, 1 touchdown. He did get sacked once. He also threw an absolutely god-awful interception. I don't know what he saw in that pass right there. That was quite literally the triple coverage right on the scrimmage line. But hey, man, they get the dub. SHEDEUR gets his first dub as a winner. And he's now been named the starter for the next game, too. So I guess we're just going to stick to SHEDEUR for the rest of the season, man.
Hey, man, we can't celebrate this because it's just the Raiders. So SHEDEUR's not good. It's just one game.
I mean, as long as you don't play as bad as Brock Purdy, we straight. Damn.
Here's the thing, man. I wish I could say that about my quarterback. I wish I could say, oh, we just beat this team. But no. Unfortunately, this week, last week the Saints had a bye week. I was very happy. This week was hate. All right. We had Atlanta rolling into town, and they walked into our trap and they marched down our streets. which they did last year, and they also won. For some reason, we keep winning in Atlanta, losing in the Dome, and it seems like we're going to do that again this year because Atlanta came in and they didn't even want to win. They didn't even want to win. They weren't good. We were in the red zone 4 times and left with 0 points. 0 points out of those 4 red zone trips. Blake Groupie, hey, my nigga, your code don't work no more. Hey, your code don't work. Don't try to walk into the facility. Don't try to go to get no gumbo. Don't go to get no legs. Don't go nowhere, man. Don't go nowhere in New Orleans. Don't go nowhere in New Orleans. Don't go nowhere in there. Cause they not gonna answer the door for you. Blake Groupie, you are a terrorist. You might have the worst aim New Orleans has seen since CJ McCollum. You are absolutely terrible. But I will say, I'm glad that you kept the real mission in mind. Because the winner today was the loser. Draft position. Because he knew. Blake Groupie, hey, man, you're the sacrifice. All right, face the wall. Just take it, bro.
Oh!
All right, the Saints offense is the most mentally ill offense I've seen ran in the NFL, man. We have a rookie running back, Devin Neal. He was looking good at Kansas. We drafted him. He's been putting in the work, as a blocker because for some reason we refused to hand him the ball. And Alvin Kamara went out with an injury. No Keandre Miller. It's his time to shine. I lied. Hand the ball to Taysom Hill 10 times. We're going to do that. Taysom Hill at running back before he handed the ball to Devin Neal. Hey, I don't know what kind of show we're running, but turn the show off. Cancel the show. Cancel the entire show. Hey, we're going to get good draft position. Kellen Moore, you got 1 more year. All right, we're going to get you a real QB. We're going to get you a real QB, but you got 1 more year. You got 1 more year.
Nigga been here for a year, max.
Don't care. Months. Get that nigga out of here. Because he's making the... No. I wanted an exciting Saints offense. That's all I asked of Kellen Moore. All I wanted him was to, launch that bitch, trick plays. He's not doing that. Taysom Hill is taking the snap. I wonder what Taysom Hill is going to do. One of the most dynamic players in the NFL. He could run, catch, and throw. He's going to run the ball up the middle. He's going to run it guts every single time. And the one time they did something different, he rolled out to his right with 1 receiver in front of him. So they obviously, Atlanta played the smart thing and they put 3 people over there, and now Taysom couldn't run or throw. Plays dead. What are we drawing up? What plays are we drawing up, Kellen Moore? That's why you were here, so you can draw plays up, right? You drew up the tush push. Is that the greatest accomplishment you've had in your career?
Whoa. Man, speaking of teams that need a pair, that need a pair. I'm gonna say this in the nicest way possible. Howie Roseman, you need to fire Kevin Patullo. This might be the sorriest fucking offensive coordinator we have currently in football. I think Chip Kelly could do a better job at running this offense than Patullo, because this shit don't make no damn sense. Jordan, when I tell you the first half of this game was a offensive masterclass. AJ Brown's getting the ball. He scores. Devontae Smith's getting the ball. Saquon's making chunk plays with his legs, and Jalen Hurts is doing Jalen Hurts things. These niggas going to halftime. And before I even say what I'm about to say, Cash Patel and the FBI, I want you to raid Kevin Patullo's house. I want you to break into his office, and I want you to check every document this nigga has in that crib, because he's taking you under our points.
I just have one question for Philadelphia. Who gave the halftime speech, and whoever it was, cut and or fire them? Because whoever gave the halftime speech, they did the complete opposite of whatever their job was.
You can't make this shit up. You niggas are up by 21. AJ Brown has 110 yards. Devontae Smith has 90. Saquon has 77 total yards. Jalen Hurts has 3 touchdowns. How the fuck you lose this football game? I'm gonna tell you why. 1, defense. Don't know what the fuck was happening there, Vic Fangio. All shit broke loose, man. Reed Blankenship, Cooper DeJean, Zach Braun, ganging them. Just went out there and just shot the bed, Man,
the exciting whites weren't so exciting anymore.
Man, the exciting whites were exciting for the first half. They immediately stopped being exciting by the second half. Kevin Patullo, I don't know if you have crack behind your play calling sheet. I don't know if you have a Playboy magazine behind your play calling sheet, but I'm gonna need you to stop. Jalen Hurts next game.
My gosh.
Jalen Hurts next game. You and Nick Sirianni, y'all gotta be the ones doing the play calling.
I'm glad you gave zero. Like you gave Dallas nothing that entire speech. They got nothing.
Oh no.
They just survived.
Oh.
But you know what? Speaking of not giving the team props, I want to give the winners of this next game props. Because Rams Buccaneers, the Rams, all they had to do was hold a pulse for the entire game, and they won. And I know that doesn't sound hard, but Baker Mayfield was the imposter the entire time. Hey, I'll be the first to admit it. We all got played, man. You
Who
know,
the fuck is we? Who the fuck is we?
no, we
We
got played.
Who is we?
We got
Hey,
Dude,
hey, I had
I
Tua
know
for
this
MVP, nigga. I ain't have Baker for MVP, so I ain't get played.
like that nigga wasn't even the imposter. He just never was in the running. He was never in the running. But anyways, man, I didn't know we were playing a game of Among Us with the quarterbacks of it. I thought for sure Josh Allen would be the imposter, or maybe Lamar Jackson. The entire time, the imposter was Baker Mayfield. And I will say, you know, Baker, I hope you get better, man. You threw out your entire shoulder, body, every ligament in your body just to throw a Hail Mary that didn't mean anything because y'all were already facing the wall, man. Like the Matthew Stafford firing squad had y'all facing the wall. When did we switch positions?
Pause.
Pause. Whoa. Wait. Hold on. Pause.
Oh shit, man.
Pause that. Okay, anyways, the Rams are a legit contender. I will give them that. The Rams are legit contenders. Todd Bowles is a terrorist. You know, he hasn't learned anything since his time in New York, and that nigga's a hack. You know, I'm people are seeing it now. Tampa Bay, you giving him the job. Some people just need to remain coordinators. He should have just stayed defensive coordinator. Y'all should have had a new head coach because he's just not the guy. But yeah, Rams win. Great win by the Rams.
These niggas got this team to the playoffs multiple times. Look at this nigga a hack.
Okay, and he's in the NFC South. Yeah, nigga, you don't even know what to say to that. Like what? Oh, he made the playoffs multiple times in the NFC South. Please tell me who's gonna take that playoff position from him.
Oh man, speaking of another NFC South team, man, Panthers versus 49ers, and that's the last game of the day. Oh my God, man, I'm gonna say this now. I didn't know Bryce Young and Brock Purdy secretly worked for the American Red Cross with the amount of donations these niggas was doing on offense today. Cause my God, this shit was legendary, man. Absolute just masterclass on how to not play offensive football. Brock Purdy went out there, man, 3 interceptions. I didn't think it could be this bad. And these were all to the same person. It wasn't like these were different receivers. This was all to different DBs. This man was throwing lasers to different defensive players. That's all I got to say about that. Bryce Young, game on the line. You're driving down the field. What happened?
I will say there was a massive hold on the play that held back McMillan. And most likely, had he not held him, McMillan probably would have made a play on the ball. It probably would have been an incompletion at worst. But, you know, Bryce Young, that's just a bad throw in traffic. Yet, the safety was sitting. You had a man behind him. You know, just throw that hoe up.
Man, Cash Patel, bro, you got a lot more investigating to do because these niggas are throwing games. But anyway, though, the 49ers get the win at home against the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey had a great day, so he was able to give his team a W because Brock Purdy was out there playing like Jamarcus Russell, and Bryce Young was out there looking like a wannabe Colt McCoy. So yeah, great day.
And with that brings an end to the NFL Week 12 review, man. We are getting into the thick of it, like I said in the beginning of the video. Not much I've said about this week of football. Really, things turned out the way they're supposed to. So, Sage, you have one last thing to say to the people.
Man, Cash Patel, bro, start doing your investigation, gang.
And with that, we out.